Come on in, everybody. I love that song. Actually, it's not a song, it's just a beat. Anyways, welcome to the Carlos Tacos Show. I'm one of your hosts, Carlos Tacos, and we got I want to get right to the point. We got Miss Patty is at she's on location. We got some good friends of ours getting the key to the city of Antioch today. We got Mayor Lamar Thorpe talking right now. So long story short, yeah, let's get right to it. We're gonna watch as some of the people here in Antioch who's worked really hard, helping others get the key to the city. So I know you don't want to hear me. So let's go ahead and get started here.
You don't have to be loud to have it. What does that say you said all the time? Still waters run deep, and every individual who's being awarded the key to the city tonight, boy, those are some deep waters. And so these individuals, for me, and I see a lot of them, I know the mayors know this. We see everything. We see everything. We go around and we hear people's stories. If somebody passes away or is killed or whatever, the likelihood is that I know about it. I know about Rika. I absolutely know about Rika. I know about J.R. Wilson. I know about Glory Paniagua. I know about Mary and William Chapman. They're not here tonight. They're represented by Debbie Pope. And I know Cassandra Collins-Keeler. These are the individuals who show up literally show up every single day to heal other people and don't ask for anything in return. They ask for absolutely nothing in return. And as we navigate this crisis, we should learn from them. We should absolutely learn from them, follow their example. They bring people together with a simple, basic faith that keep the souls. They heal the souls. So it is with great honor that I present these keys to the city tonight to these individuals. I met Glory Paniagua through a Facebook note that she sent me once. She said, Councilmember Thorpe, come see what we're doing. She asked me a few times. And I go. I went to her home where she was running a food distribution center out of her garage. And of course, being a council member, I thought, oh my God, there's so many code violations. But I stayed there and I saw where her heart was. I saw people show up to take food to other people. I was blown away by everything she and all the volunteers and her family ended up doing. And then she told me, she didn't tell me the story. I overheard her telling the story, where she and her family had a challenge. She couldn't buy them. Her family couldn't buy them. She got the idea of feeding other families because she couldn't feed her family. But you know what she did? She prayed. She made it through. And on a personal note, this is a hard job. This is a really hard job. Mayor of Antioch. This is a difficult job. And I don't say that as a laughing matter, it is a difficult job because of the changes that have taken place, the growth that has taken place. And sometimes people resist change. That's just natural, but you feel it all. And in my time as a candidate for mayor, in my time as mayor, there hasn't been a time that this woman has not faced me. And I want to thank you so much from the bottom of my heart Thank you so much. So, Councilmember Barbanica, I want you to join me as we award Ms. Paniagua the key to the city, since you were considered. So on behalf of the city of Antioch, congratulations on earning one of the highest honors that this city has. Other than just pray for me. One of the highest honors that the city can give. So Flory is the founder of Team Jesus Outreach Ministries, an organization that brings groceries to children and families. Today, as a result of her, this started in a garage. She is now the largest food distribution center in Eastern County. And so, Flory, on behalf of the city of Antioch, congratulations. There are also 2 certificates here. You'll be recognized by County Supervisor Diane Burgess and County Supervisor Federal Glover, as well as our State Senator Steve Blake.
We want to thank you on behalf of the city of Antioch, everything you're doing for the people of this community. It's amazing just learning about your operation has been absolutely amazing. So thank you very much. On behalf of the city of Antioch,
congratulations. It's wonderful to hear all the work that you're doing, to know that you've fed so many families and you've given hope to so many. So congratulations on behalf of Senator Glazer and the people of the 7th District. The live stream measure.
I can't help but cry. I did write down my speech tonight. Sometimes when I do it, I just forget them. So here it is. Thank you for allowing me to be here. I want to thank the Honorable Mayor Lamar Thorpe and the Antioch City Council members, honored guests, Team Jesus members, fellow community leaders and citizens. Today, as I stand before you, I am reminded of the humble beginnings of Team Jesus in my living room, where families gathered every weekend to find solace and worship. In those early days, in the midst of my own personal financial struggles, I volunteered for a group rescuing surplus bread, which was a lifeline for my family. That service sparked the idea of providing something more, something much larger, something that could provide for families around my neighborhood. In December of 2019, Team Jesus Outreach Ministries was born and was officially approved as a nonprofit 501c3 organization. This was miraculous as our application was approved in 1 month, marking the beginning of transformative journey. God's timing is always perfect. As fate would have it, 3 months later, in March 2020, the government declared shutdown due to COVID-19. My garage was once empty, was transformed when a truck from White Pony Express arrived, delivering blessings from Safeway, Trader Joe's, Sprouts, and others right to my doorstep. A true miracle. My garage became the hub of generosity with every truckload of essential food items. Over the past 2 years, countless organizations, churches, and dedicated volunteers joined forces here in Anya, serving our East Contra Costa area. I am grateful to the city of Anya, the Contra Costa communities, and my neighbors for their unwavering support during that time. Soon, Jubilee Church graciously offered its campus to Team Jesus to operate as hub without charging a single cent. White Pony Express, Food Bank, grocery outlets, Safeway, and numerous others stood shoulder to shoulder with us as we serve this community. Today, over 30 ministries, outreach groups, and individuals collaborated to serve more than 6,000 families per month. Including Opportunity Village, formerly Executive Inn, Contra Costa Homeless Shelter in Richmond. Yes, they drive all the way here. And the Community Outreach Center in Anya. Our work is just beginning. We currently have 6 40-foot containers, one of them being a refrigerator unit and clothing ministry. Our hub is at the back of parking lot of Jubilee Christian Center. But with your support, we envision a future beyond food and clothing distribution.
Ooh.
A future where dignity reigns supreme. I have a dream
Mhm.
of a future where Team Jesus has its own warehouse, a place where we can expand our impact in our city beyond just providing food and clothing. I've walked the path of not having enough to feed my family, having experienced the financial struggles firsthand. Team Jesus Outreach Ministries is about providing love and respect, a sense of dignity every person craves and deserves. I stand here as a recipient of this key, as someone who understands intimately the needs of our communities and will continue to service those needs. Team Jesus' next goal is to find a place where it can continue its mission and commitment to the communities, cities, and people we serve, offering them hope and love they deserve. Now, I implore the city of Antioch and all who can partner with us. As Helen Keller wisely said, alone we can do so little. Together we can do so much. Let us embark on this journey together and put Antioch on the map in a positive way by serving the lives of those who call this place home. I humbly accept this key to the city on behalf of Team Jesus Outreach Ministries, the many volunteers, some of whom are here today. My God that I serve, my Lord Jesus Christ, because without him, nothing is possible.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you for this honor. Mayor, thank you. May the Lord continue to bless the city of Antioch. It's not in my note anymore, but let me speak from my heart. Will begin an individual, and it is us. So I said yes. Would you say yes with me? City of Antioch, would you say yes with me? We can do this.
Yes, yes, we
What you
can.
see right now is just the beginning. 6,000 families a month and more. Can you imagine if you guys go with me? Can you imagine when we have a warehouse? We can do more. Not just the food, like I said, but it's more, many more. And I encourage you tonight, all of you guys that can do it, say yes with me. I promise you, I will work, I will move until this body will move.
All right.
Let's do it. You said, I want to say thank you to my husband that really he's the one that allowing me to do this. He works so hard. He works so hard for our family. It's a sacrifice. And I want to honor you in front of everyone. Thank you for your sacrifice. My voice, I know I'm at home all the time. But it's worth it.
Mm.
Our work is not in vain. We have been before we got food, and I know there's a lot of families, there's a lot of kids behind those walls that need food. And I'm here to do it with you all. Let's do it together. Thank you, everyone. I love you with the love of the Lord.
Okay, thank you. Another round of applause for Jordan. Okay, so the next person who will be receiving the key to the city is a person I met a while ago. And, I was part of a different group. I forget what group I was part of. It was veterans. You were part of DPG. And my group, I think it just kind of went away. Your group continued. And I'd always hear about you from people like Councilwoman Wilson. She would say, well, J.R. Wilson. Oh, I was talking to J.R. Wilson. And then I'd see them together. And then he'd always have this little joke. He'd say, my sister from another mother. You're the Wilsons. Yeah, she is your sister, yes. She is your sister.
I have two out there that.
You're his sisters. And I am a proud veteran. I am a proud veteran of the United States Navy. And I'm grateful for the experience. But when I left the Navy, I was in Groton, Connecticut, heading to George Washington University. I got a speeding ticket. I couldn't get out of the Navy fast enough. I could not get out of the Navy fast enough. But this guy, he's an Army veteran, but he's like a veteran of every branch. He has such love and compassion for veterans. But especially veterans who are hurting. Veterans who may have lost their way. Man, I don't think I can name a person who has a type of love and compassion for veterans, irrespective of the experiences that they've had, than J.R. Wilson. This individual. When you get up here, I'm going to have all of the mayors come up here. They all have a relationship with J.R. But we have this thing down in Antioch that we host on an annual basis called Stand Down on the Delta. And it started like a little idea. Let's get our veterans together, the ones who need services, and let's get them the services. It's like one of the biggest events here in the city of Antioch. And he'll tell you more about it. I'm not going to do justice the way you will talk about it, but JR is the founder of the Delta Veterans Group, an organization that supports military veterans. His efforts promote unity in our community and help heal veterans who are in need through events like Stand Down on the Delta. I could say a lot more, but I know it's past 8 o'clock. So I'm going to have J.R. Wilson come up here as he receives the key to the city. I'm going to have our three mayors. All right, Mr. Wilson, on behalf of the city of Antioch, it is my honor to bestow upon you the highest honor in this city, bestow on its residents, and that is the key to the city. Thank you so much for all of that.
Congratulations. As a former Oakley mayor and council member, I have seen you and your work. I also heard from one of my colleagues, former Mayor Sue Higgins, here tonight. And she's worked with you on Stand Down, and she's told me for years about the work that you do. So I've watched this organization grow, and I'm very proud of you and what you do. So thank you very much, and on behalf of Senator Glazer and the people of Senate District 7, I congratulate you on this honor.
This is on behalf of Supervisor Federal Glover and Diane Burgess. On behalf of the office.
You know, ladies and gentlemen, it is wonderful to be mayor
But as Lamar said, it is one of the most difficult jobs in the world until you meet people like J.R. Wilson. Because J.R. Wilson is completely dedicated. He doesn't really care if you're a Democrat, Republican, or independent, but he does care for his veterans. And he believes honestly and deeply that we all have an obligation to honor the men and women who have defended us. Yeah. It's a privilege for me to know you, to love you, and support you in all your endeavors.
Just want to say congratulations. I've worked with JR. I think we did the first veterans parking space placards here in the city. And I remember doors always open. Yes, doors always open. I remember doing the push-up challenge to recognize, bring attention to veterans who committed suicide and try to prevent that. And I honored him in my book, Antioch Beautiful. It's a children's book, and we're both now doing push-ups in our children's book. So.
You've been active after I left the mayor's office, but your name is well known in the veterans community. I'm an Air Force veteran, and it's so important, the work that you do. Many people who we've served with have suffered great hardships, not only financially, emotionally, physically, and it's terrific that there are people like you and the organizations that support veterans for their service. And the two, I guess it looks like they're gone, the two active duty, oh, there they are. I just wanted to say thank them for their service because they are doing thank you for what you do and your hard work. It's a credit to you and the city.
Right here. All right. Antioch! First time you go up there, it's like the camera steps up there, so I'll go mics up there. All right. My sister asked me if my knees are right. She knows I was airborne. I got a little knee injury. I want to say thank you to the city of Antioch, to the city council, to Mayor Ford. There's other people out here that I would like to recognize as well. I have my twin sister, KK, out there. My sister, Robin, out there as well. And my nephew, Christopher number one, right there with his beautiful family as well. Thank you for coming out here. And then I also have my Aunt Jeanette, my pretty Aunt Jeanette. I have many dads. I have right there. Rydell. We have Tom and Oxbow over there. You have helped me, guided me in a lot of different ways in the time that I known you. You have an individual part of my heart and many different things. So many thanks to all of you for that. Also want to recognize Club Italia, the assistant community, and my friend Ruben Herrera. I've known them since I was 13, so they know all the, if you want to know the truth about it. But I know I grew up out here in Antioch and Pittsburgh. It was a lot different back then as well. What's wonderful about our communities is to see them grow and how they progressed and everything like that. My dad was a janitor, worked at LMC. They make a lot of money, but had a good family. Also meant that we went to a lot of different places. I went to school at Michigan Elementary School, Marsh Islands. I went to a couple Christian schools, Antioch Junior High School, Hill Junior High School, Antioch High School, Pittsburgh High School. One of the lessons that it did teach me by being able to grow up that way was, and to have those experiences with all different types of cultures. Back then, we were expert, but I'd like to see Antioch progress and where it's coming to now. But you got to learn how to work with everybody, especially as a little kid, man, going to elementary schools and, trying to have friends and stuff like that. Some of the lessons that I learned are things that I employ in my life today. When I turned 15, I decided that I knew everything in the world. Now I have a 15-year-old. But I started making bad decisions when I turned 15 and ended up living on the street. Not because I had a bad family, but because I made bad decisions. And me and my twin sister. I slept in my sister Robin's car. I slept next to Claude's house. That's in your house too. Sometimes I get there too late. I was probably Karen fed me every Sunday. Every Sunday. Never ever forget it. I'm just gonna give Pat a shout out while I got you guys here. Pat gave me a roll of toilet paper. Never let him forget it. Forget that much to me though. If you've been homeless, you know what I'm talking about. Any little kid, any little recognition that you're alive, that you're there. Meant something to me. So I started making good decisions that led to the military. Luckily for the Pittsburgh Police Department, they did community policing. So I still had the opportunity to get in the military. We got to realize that too when we're going with our youth. Sometimes we take those opportunities away from them without even knowing what to do. That opportunity for me was still there. So I joined the military. That was one of my first good decisions that I made. I met a lot of wonderful people in the military. One of the coolest things was that in the military, in the veterans community, neighborhoods, if you want to call it a neighborhood, is that we come from every walks of life. Everyone. It didn't matter what color you were, it didn't matter who you voted for. It didn't matter, none of that. None of that stuff mattered. We were there to serve a purpose. And as crazy as it sounds, coming from different views and different visions and different things like that, sometimes, just like families, we'd argue. Crazy thing is, though, we'd go out and step in front of a bullet. And sometimes when we get out of the military, that kind of unconditional, when you get back to the reality of life, civilian world, you really don't have that where we're just, I don't care. I'm just doing a step in front of it. And we stepped away from that. And society, we don't really have. So as Mayor Lamar said, I kind of full bore into that whole veterans thing. Right? In 1997, the DAV offered me a job as a disabled American veterans. They taught me how to be a veteran. To me, a veteran is serving your fellow veterans. Serving them. So I did DAV and did very well, became a supervisor, learned how to serve veterans, neighborhoods. I started to become emotional. Started to become to a point where I had to deal with my own instead of trying to focus on everybody else's life. That's when I got down on my knees and I prayed to God. God said, be humble. Accept who you are. Accept help. Ask for it. So in 2011, I moved back here to where I grew up. Saw also a lot more homeless than I have ever seen growing up. I knew of a program called the Stand-In, which started in San Diego by Vietnam veterans, in which they embraced their fellow veterans and brought them in from the home, the street, gave them a safe place to stand in. So in 2012, there was a city election going on. There was an individual running for city council. I asked him, I sent out which website, I asked him, guy showed up to my door. and ask me what am I doing? You know? And I had to ask that question to myself. What am I doing? I'm a veteran. I no longer work for the DAV. I'm still part of it. So what am I doing? So I challenged myself to form a veterans group. I didn't have a name for it. Got my friends together, Claude, other people. We started a nonprofit in 2012 called House Veterans. We called it a veterans group because we wanted to include everybody. It didn't matter if they were DAV or they were VFW, AMVETS, American Legion. That didn't matter. It didn't matter. What I wanted to do, and what we wanted to do, was to be able to bring everybody together and to serve, and it started off to serve our veterans neighborhood. And the reason why I'm saying neighborhood is because we want to serve our community. Community doesn't look like me. Community doesn't look like you. Community looks like us, right? And so that advantage of being in the military and working and growing up in the different diverse neighborhoods that I grew up in, we were able to be able to form that. And some of the things that we started to work on was to the veterans serve their country, veterans serve their community. And we really wanted to define what community is. Again, it's us, right? Because a neighborhood is part of a community. So if you're stuck just hanging out with people who look like you, talk like you, look like you, smell like you, eat like you, dress like you are in a neighborhood. We challenge ourselves to get out of that and serve the whole community. Serve people who do not look like you. Serve people who do not look like you. Love, accept, embrace them. How do we grow? I know one thing, if everybody looked like me, talked like me, voted like me, it'd be a boring place. It's pretty boring. So the military, the flag, what we fight for, what we represent, is the ability to have everybody have a flag. Everybody. And ask yourself, really, what does that mean? Go home and ask that self of yourself. What does that mean? If all your friends look like you, then are you growing? Are you being part of our community? Or are you part of the neighborhood? Challenge yourself. I don't hang out with everybody that votes like me. I don't need to change their mind. I need them to be engaged. I need them to be engaged in the community and stuff like that. So the other part of that was too, that we like to put out, is to do your part. Do your part. Just do your part. For kids, it could be minding your parents, getting good grades. For a police officer, it could be policing. For city council members, it could be owning the problems of your city. Challenge yourself to own those, conquer them. Work with everybody. And again, if your group, if everybody looks like you are in the neighborhood. Because community doesn't look like me, community doesn't look like you, it looks like you. So thank you for what you do. Love the neighborhoods like you know, it all started with food. That's the whole. If you like food, you know, you can sit down and eat with someone, sit down and talk. You can sit down and talk with them, serve a plate. So let's do that. Sit down and talk. Thank you.
All right, we're gonna move along here because it's way past. And so, if I can just ask the next speakers in. Say the thank yous. You know, you're thankful. So William and Mary Chapman Mary is co-founder and executive director of the Elderly Wish Foundation, an organization that enriches the final days of an elderly person who is terminally ill by making a lifelong wish come true. Bill has been by Mary's side, helping realize his request as a longtime board member of the organization. Tonight is Bill and Mary's anniversary, so of course they would not be here. But we wanted to thank them and applaud them. We have Debbie Tom, who is like the queen of our seasoned fellow citizens, And so she's gonna make some remarks on their behalf. Don Freitas is here as well. And I'm gonna have him say a few things as well, because we both knew or know Bill and Mary, wonderful human beings. Before Debbie shares what she's going to share, I just want to say two remarkable individuals in our I did not know until recently that they had a son. Unfortunately died. He didn't even make it to De La Salle High School. He was on his way to De La Salle. Didn't make it. I learned recently for scholarship reception, Kennedy, that they started a scholarship to any student that's going to De La Salle High School in Holy Rose. Those are the kind of giving, but I would have never known it if I had scholarship reception. When they started this organization, it was around the time their son died, and they were still that kid going through that trauma and experience, having lost a child, yet they were still willing to stand up in the worst times. Wow. So I think this recognition of both of them is way long overdue here in the city of Antioch. So with that, I'll turn it over to Debbie.
I was just showing off my Hanukkah nails that the holiday we're allowed to do out loud, evidently. So, out loud. So I am Debbie Toth, and I am a Mary and Bill fan. I don't know if any of you experienced people in your life that couldn't stop doing good, but that is Bill and Mary. From the time, I didn't know before they had children, but from the time they had children, from Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts and the swim leagues, pancake parties and doing the hot dogs and burgers and running the stands and raising funds and with their church and showing up while raising kids in the community, supporting low-income senior housing, the East County Senior Coalition, the Bedford Center, which is where it works, right? Out of there. It doesn't work. Work at, but not for. Yeah, he helps. Does a whole other thing. Anyway, we have an annual fundraiser and they're out there cooking the food. They both work full-time jobs, raise kids, now have grandkids, and don't have spare time because every minute they have that's free is time that they can give and help somebody less fortunate. When I talked to Mary about this award, I was like, I want to know all the things about you, not just things I know, but all the things that people don't know about you. And she said, no, why didn't Mayor Thorpe give this to somebody else when we're not there? She's so humble. Bill is so humble. When I asked her, what would you want me to ask of this group? She didn't say, please donate money to an elderly wish. She said, please tell the people about us so that they can refer older adults to us so that we can make their wishes come true. I think we are losing a generation of people, and these are humans in their 80s. These are not spring chickens. I'm not a spring chicken anymore. Maybe it's spring chicken like that one, but these are people in their 80s who are still continuing to more than full time work for free to support the community and those in need. And so I will ask you, do you know anybody who is 50 years or older, who has a chronic condition or a life-threatening illness that could use a little joy? And if you do, I want you to contact Mary and get a wish for them, because that is what will make both of them.
All right, I wish Mary and Bill were here. You know them, and you would love them. They've been a part of my life for more than 30 years. My son and their children went to the same school, Boy Scouts, and swimming. And they are two people that are very humble and frankly shy. They don't like any attention given to them. But I think, you know, their work, their efforts speak volumes, because what they try to do is to recognize the elderly, recognize people who are literally dying, and they have one last wish. And this organization does everything possible to make those wishes come true. And when they first started, I asked them, I said, Mary, what kind of wishes do people make? And I'll never forget one of them. There was a woman, she said, what I would love to have is ripe, fresh fruit. I thought, really? That was their wish. And they said, yeah, have you ever gone to Lucky's or Safeway? You know, it's like the fruit's never really ripe. And this woman had lived on the farm. And in her final days, she was thinking about what brought her joy. And what brought her joy was working with her family and friends in the orchards here in our community. And that was it. And Mary told me she was so happy and really over the moon that somebody would care enough to go and get the ripest, freshest fruit, put it in a basket, and give it to her. Very, very humble. I hope you will meet Mary and Bill Chadwick. They are just extraordinary people doing extraordinary things for really a segment of our society that most people tend to forget about. They haven't, and they've devoted themselves to really making this world a better world and unifying it. Thank you.
Bill and I'm married. All right.
Right, we're almost there, we're almost there. Okay. So the council member, my wife, ex-wife, Pat, is to come home and say, you should really learn about what Rika is working on. And I said, well, who's Rika? And she'd come home and always talk about Rika. Even Kennedy would say, yeah, Miss Rika. I don't know any Rika. But I did have an opportunity of meeting Rika and learning about the great work that she's doing in our community. And the work that she does in our community. You know, everybody here, everybody I think that we're working works full time, has families to take care of, and yet they still dedicate extra time to give to our community. And I just think that is so spectacular because small children, and that's a gift. And to continue to devote themselves to helping the community is beautiful. Rika is founder of Share Community, an organization that brings showers and toilets on wheels to our neighbors without houses. Her efforts promote unity in our community and help heal individuals who are often denied something as simple as dignity and compassion. So I couldn't thank you enough for the work that you do in our city. She has been such a tireless fighter for our unhoused neighbors that the city has found part in the work that she does over at the EOC, Golden Hills. And so Rika, I just couldn't speak. My words would never do justice for any individual who's here today. The hearts that they have. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you for everything that you do. There's the Davis family, they're rolling deep. Come on up here, Rita. All right, on behalf of the greatest city God ever created, the city of Antioch, don't believe it's in the Bible. All the immediate family, hurry up.
Thank you. As Mayor Hope was saying, he didn't know who he was before, and neither did I, but I had a really great chance to talk with her in the hallway, and now I know Rika. And I know the work that she does and that all the volunteers do, so congratulations, and it's a wonderful thing that you contribute to our community.
Hi, everyone. Listen, thank you for coming. And it's not early, I'm tired. So thank you for staying, and thank you for coming from near and far. I cannot point out all of you because there are many of you, and I really, from the bottom of my heart, appreciate you all taking the time to come here today. I do want to give one special shout out to someone who literally helped to put me on the right course.
Well, I think her battery died. Anyways, let's see if it starts up again. Now I wanted, this is the main one I wanted to hear. It was Rika and Sister Flory. Yeah. The other one, I don't know who that is, but congratulations to all of them, and we lost the signal. So anyway, that's fine. Wow. Each one of them worked hard for what they do, and he just don't be giving out, the mayor don't just be giving out keys like, hey, you get one, So each one of them really, really worked hard. Sister Flory, helping the families out here get food, and the different ministries that go with her, and they pick up the food, and yeah, like the mayor said, she started at her house. She's I'm not even sure if I was there when I was picking up food from her house, but now she has different locations now all throughout the Contra Costa, and then she has different ministries that go and pick up the food now too, so they can go and pass out food in their locations, So shout out to Sister Flory. Thank you. And Team Jesus, they work super hard, unloading the trucks and all that, and then loading the cars that come, and man, they work super hard. They do. They really deserve that. The key. And then Rika, she has the shower ministry, where she helps the houseless community with every Tuesdays and Thursday in the morning. Like I think she starts at 8 or 8:30 in the morning on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and she really does. She'll come the day before and cook, and then they'll get a ticket, and then they can go into because she does it at a church called the COC Community Outreach Center in Antioch on 18th Street, and so the people will line up before at the gate, and the gate's locked, and then it opens up at 8, and then they all go get in line, sign up for a shower, and while whoever the first one is, he'll get a shower and all that, but she'll give them tickets. And one is like to get a hot meal inside the bistro. And then another one, if they need their clothes washed, or they'll get a bracelet and they can get like 1 or 2 washes with that. So that helps the houseless community a lot, but they'll just sit there and wait. Like I said, she'll come the day before and cook the meals for them. She, after so many, I think, then she runs out sometimes, but she's usually pretty good, about guessing how many to make and all that. But yeah, her and her team, they work super hard too, getting donations, the towels that they use. She has to rewash them, all that, every time a person comes out of a shower, they sanitize that whole shower, so it's not like just one comes in, another one comes, no, each person has to wait, a while to get, to wait their turn. So while the team goes in there and sanitizes everything and gets everything ready for the next one. But yeah, she always has like, soaps and little shampoos and all that she'll give them to, clothes, if they need extra clothes, they're going to take a shower and put the same clothes back on, so Rika always, she's always ready to have clothes for men and women there, and it comes from the donations that that she gets. So thank you. You can stop by on a Tuesday or a Thursday right there. The address is 525 East 18th Street in Antioch, California. And yeah, it's the COC church right there. They're there from like 8 to 12. And then I think the last one, the shower would be like 12. I'm not sure. So, make sure you go in there and ask. But if you need a shower, if you know anybody that needs showers, or, maybe their water was shut off, or if they just want a meal, tell them to just come in and they can get a meal. They don't have to take a shower. Maybe it's kind of hard to say, hey, you need a shower, that might be kind of offensive, but it's just good to know that we have these resources here, in our community. So the Team Jesus and the Share team, with the showers with Sister Rika. So yeah, and a lot more to come on the show, so I just want to take the time to thank you guys so much for tuning in, watching the show, and tune in next week to see who we got on. This was fun. I had fun, and I appreciate you guys. And go ahead, like, share. Look at what we got. Where is it at? Right here. So we got Instagram at Carlos Tacos .1. I still got to start posting some stuff on there. I'm working on it. I'm learning Instagram. And then the YouTube at Carlos Tacos Show. So go check that out. Even though I still use the other one too. I have another one, just Carlos Tacos. But yeah, either one. Just go on there, like it. Oh, hold on.
I went to, I was in Mexico visiting family, and I was having a conversation with our chief of police because of something completely different. In that conversation, I asked him, did we have a in custody death? And he said, well, yes and no. And he gave me this long explanation about why it was yes and no. So I didn't think much of it by any stretch of the imagination. I was over and done. And about 3 months later, it was breaking news everywhere about this young man who had died in police custody. And I went, after I learned about this, I went and visited the family. Now, I had never done that before. I've never visited anybody as a council member or to that point as the mayor. But I went and visited the family. And when I went inside the house, there was Cassandra Quinto Collins. And she was in tears. And she was in shock, in absolute shock that the mayor had shown up to her house. And so she embraced me. And I still get chills to this very moment because there is nothing more so sad than to embrace a woman who just lost her child. There's just nothing more sad. To see the hurt, to feel the pain, to feel her heart. There are no words to express the absolute emptiness I felt coming out of her body as she explained what had happened. And literally that moment was what shaped my entire experience in the last 3 years as the mayor. If something terrible happens, I show up. I show up to people's homes. I show up to grieving moms. I show up to grieving people. I just show up. Because after that experience, I could not erase that from my mind. And I could not allow myself not to show compassion to people who have experienced such tragedy in their lives. And so there is no one who should be angry at the world right now, more angry than Cassandra Quinto Collins. She should be angry at me. She should be angry at the city. She should be angry at the police department. She should be angry. And yet she has shown up with absolute respect and compassion for what is right. Not once have I ever heard her, not once have I ever heard her utter a bad word about our police department, but has uttered words about how we can improve as a city, how we can improve as a police department. To the point that there have been state changes in how policing operates throughout the state as a result of this incident and her advocacy. And so if there is anyone we should emulate, particularly in times of crisis, it should absolutely be Cassandra Quinto Collins, because she has shown up with respect, compassion on behalf of her son, and she has demonstrated that compassion and respect to me and everybody else in our community. And so that is why I believe she is deserving and is an example of what we should be emulating as we go through and build a better city for all of us. So it is with great honor that I honor Cassandra Quinto Collins with the Q of the City. She is not here, she is in the Philippines, but her husband is here to receive the award on her behalf. Thank you. Mr. Cox, on behalf of the City of Antioch, thank you for being here on behalf of the way. And I'd like to thank you for the city, and that's my honor.
Chief Laser, people of District 7. We want to also thank you for the work that you do, for leading and to show grace. You're one of those people that's have people.
Well, thank you. Good evening. Sorry, my daughter Bella had to leave. UC Berkeley applications are due tonight. Thank you. Thank you. So thank you, Mr. Mayor. On behalf of Cassandra Quinto Collins, who is, I think you're her mother today, but they are watching through Facebook Live. So hello, Mommy Goose and Cassandra and Andre are watching, the whole Canapia and Quinto clan. And again, Bella was here, but had to leave us. So can't thank you enough for the recognition for Cassandra. And I would say a few words that I think Cassandra has proven to be one of the strongest women I've ever known. It's amazing what she did with the disaster and the tragedy that occurred on December 23rd, 2020. And I won't go on it too long, but Angelo did die basically in front of her in her bedroom floor. Half an hour before Noche Buena, which for Filipinos is Christmas. It was a completely, the tragedy couldn't get much worse. He was not under any common drugs of abuse. He had no weapons. He presented no challenge. But often what happens in these cases is that we hold certain professions and organizations with such high esteem that we sometimes forget that there is no profession or organization or person that can be held above the law, above accountability, above transparency, above the basic premise of respecting every single person, because every single person has a little spark of God in them. And so everyone is equal. We should be treated with respect regardless of race, creed, socioeconomic status. So coming out of that, in this most difficult situation, Cassandra has always shown a way forward, which is respectful, which is loving, and so we as a family and Cassandra leading the effort have focused on how to make things better. What can we do? How? And I think what Cassandra always says is, she is now Angelo's voice. What would Angelo want? We think Angelo would want to make this better. And so the idea has been, how can we prevent other families from going through the same situation we went through? Because what we went through was basically a cover-up. It was the police department saying they were going to conduct an investigation, which never happened. The investigation was all conducted internally if it would have happened. The sheriff coroner determined that Angelo died from excited delirium, and it was an accident. Excited delirium doesn't exist in the medical literature. There's a cottage industry trying to confuse the public into thinking that the quasi-medical term somehow blaming the victim for their own death is something that we should all be confused by and therefore accept. And so that's and guess what else we learned? We learned that we were not alone. We learned that there was a whole list of people that don't get recorded because remember, Angelo still is not recorded as an in-custody death, and he died from an accident death. So he's not in the statistics anymore. So that's the negative side of this. The positive side is that there is hope. And we've found it through community, through working with many of you in this room, through difficult times and times when we said we disagreed, times when we came and demanded things at City Hall, and Cassandra, through her fear of the language, her fear of public speaking, stood every single time and has testified tens of times at the State Assembly and the Senate. And we're well known in council chambers, I'm afraid. We've kept you up when we, at the beginning, for hours. But what came out of it is a journey. And it's a journey that I think is indicative of where Antioch is today, where we can be in the future. And it's indicative of what we can do together. Because although there were many arguments, and at first we came up with 3 demands. We said, at first I said, give me the body cam footage. And then I learned that Antioch was one of 7 cities in California that did not have body cameras for the police department. So we got that passed pretty quickly, a unanimous vote here. So thank you, all of you, the council members and the leadership of the city for making those quick reforms come to pass. We asked for banning of the knee to neck restraint or the position asphyxia, and we were not successful to get it banned in Antioch, so we went to the state and passed a state law, AB 490, which became AB 490 makes California the second state in the nation to ban positional asphyxia. Only Colorado bans it so far. In the George Floyd Act, it is absent. It was taken out of it at the end. And we asked Antioch for non-police, culturally sensitive mental health response teams. And you know what? We joined with the leadership of Antioch, and I think Senator Monica Wilson had been working on this before this. And I gotta tell you, Mayor Thorpe had also been working on many of these reforms before this happened to us. So we joined hands in ways that we could. And in the crisis response team, we had a unanimous vote. And again, showed that Antioch can move forward. We can have alternative responses, because I can ask the officers that are in this room, do you think the appropriate response to somebody having a mental health crisis is an officer? And I can tell you that they'd say they want that extra help of somebody that's trained to deal with that crisis. And so that means that we could find ways of moving forward beyond the issues that we've had with policing in this country. And in some ways, we've shown that Antioch, with all its problems and all the controversies that we've had in the past few years, we were able to pass those reforms. I'll tell you one more reform. So thank you, Antioch leadership. Thank you, Antioch organizers and shakers and movers and those that show up all the time to the council meetings. And thank you to the rest of you. I see so many in the audience that have been quietly supportive, to show up to these things and care about making Antioch a better place. And it's hard. You've got jobs, you've got kids, but we do need to reform things in Antioch so that we can all think about kids and jobs and in a fair society. I'll show you one more thing we're celebrating right now, and this is one of the ideas that Cassandra had, was that she did not want to see excited delirium used anymore to justify and to blame victims for their own deaths in the US anymore. And on October 8th, the governor signed AB 360, which makes California the first state in the nation to ban the use of excited delirium and other terminology like that that is not supported by any medical organization, that is just supported by a cottage industry trying to prevent accountability and transparency when it comes to policing. So I will leave it with this. What we're asking for is not too much. What we're asking for is basic respect. It's humanity, it's human rights, it is transparency and accountability. And I think AB 360 showed us, we passed almost a unanimous bill. Assemblymember Mike Gibson passed an almost unanimous bill with only one no vote. It got yeses from Republicans and Democrats. And what that means to me is that there is a way forward. We don't have to get caught up in polarizing arguments. This is not an anti-anything bill. No, BART banned excited delirium because you don't need it if you're a police department. You don't need it if you're a sheriff coroner. Not if you're doing your job correctly. And so there is a way forward. There is hope. There is bipartisanship. There are possibilities for moving forward with what is basically love. Love to make the institutions better. Love to make the institutional policing better. Love to make our communities feel that they could be safe out there, regardless of your race, creed, or national origin. So again, thank you so much for this honor for Cassandra. I cry less because I have had to, when she cries, I feel like I have to be stronger. But she's just an amazing woman that's been able to put all that aside and continue to have faith that we can do better together. And I think we have.
Okay.
It was on mute. All right. Well, that's the end of the show now. And I just want to thank you guys. Well, you know, staying here for that long. We went, 16 minutes over, but it's all good. Tune in next week, Thursday, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And Carlos Tacos, want to thank Miss Patty for going on location. And with that, we're out of here.